What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dirty Shore Underground. Tonight we got a whole lot of things to talk about. We're going to try to keep it under an hour.
Yeah.
But I think it's been a very busy week. There's a lot that we can talk about. There's several things music-wise between Eminem. Obviously, it's 420, so happy 420 to everybody that smokes. Currently, I do not because it's not legal in my state. But once it is, if it ever happens, you might find me doing that during a podcast instead of drinking. But before we get into it, Rob?
Make sure you check out DirtyShoreUnderground.com for new episodes of the podcast. New episodes available every Thursday. Bonus episodes every Monday or Tuesday. We've wrapped up the Walking Dead episodes, although we will have a little bit of discussion about the Walking Dead this week on our Fear the Walking Dead bonus episodes, which will be going for the next few weeks. So make sure you check out all of those available at DirtyShoreUnderground.com. Also, make sure you're following Dirty Shore Underground on all of your streaming services, whether that's iTunes or Dogcatcher or Stitcher, whatever you use. Make sure you follow along on there. Give us a like and a subscribe, and give us a rating and a review. Take the time. It really helps people find out the podcast and helps let my boss, if you want to see him that way, know that things are going well for us. So also, you want to make sure you're following at Dirty Shore UG on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's a great way to keep in touch with us, to find out about the latest information. You'll be able to see videos this weekend from the, the AVI Expo?
Yep, the American Vape Expo is coming to Timonium, Maryland.
Right.
And in September, they're coming to Ocean City. And the Ocean City event's going to be a 2-day event. Nate's planning on getting a beach house. His aunt has a beach house down there, so I might be down there for the whole weekend instead of working
there you go. But for this weekend, if you're following at Dirty Shore UG on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you'll be able to find videos from the American Vape Expo in Timonium, Maryland, courtesy of Kenny. So make sure you do check that out there. You'll also be able to find out links to the live stream. We are live streaming this episode and every episode at youtube.com/C youtube.com/C/Dirty Shore UG-OTA. If you want to participate in the podcast, just scroll down to the bottom. There's a live comment section. Click in there. You can ask your questions, make your comments. They'll pop up on the screen to the right, and we can discuss whatever you want to discuss. Just make sure you keep in mind there's about a 40-second delay, so give us some kind of context about what you're talking about. Now, this week, like so many of our episodes, we do need to have a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, guys. You're going to get random drug tests tomorrow. Just going to let you know. So, we're recording this on...
Damn it! Oh, wait, I don't work tomorrow.
We're recording this podcast on 420. It'll go live on 421, which, as you know, is International Random Drug Test Day. But if you want to avoid all that drug testing and need to worry about it, if you want to avoid cigarettes and smoking altogether, all you got to do is switch to Vape Life, and you can do that by checking out Oasis Vapor in Denton, Maryland. All you got to do is to go to Oasis Vapor on Facebook. The link will be in the show notes of this show down at the bottom. Make sure you check them out there. Nate down at Oasis has always been a big fan of the podcast. We're a big fan of his. Kenny works at the vape shop on the weekends, so you can't beat that. That's the reason he'll be at the American Vape Expo this weekend. So whether you're trying to quit smoking like me, whether you're starting out in the vape lifestyle like Kenny, or whether you're pushing big clouds and trying to compete like other people, you can find anything that you need down at Oasis Vapor. That's in North 6th Street. You take the exit from 404 for 313 616. It's in the big red building between the McDonald's and the Burger King. You can't miss it. Go in there. Tell everybody you heard about it at Dirty Shore Underground. Let them know that you appreciate the podcast and that you appreciate them. It's one of the best ways that you can help us out. So
I think there's something like $500 cash prize for the Cloud Comp at the Expo this weekend. They're calling it Vape Combat, so
it's gonna be crazy. So make sure you go down to Oasis Vapor. They're one of 25 stores in the nation where you can get the Rogue mod, which Kenny's using right now. So there are people from all over the country, all over the East Coast, coming to Oasis Vapor. Make sure that you are one of them. Check them out, North 6th Street in Denton. So, diving into everything we had to do, I want to go off the top just, since we're talking about 420, you have sent me about 4 times the potluck video, and I've heard it about 6 times because it seems like YouTube wants us to watch the potluck video.
You've seen it. I'm pretty sure you thought I was crazy.
No.
When you walked in, and I was like, look, every time I try to watch a video completely unrelated to 420, it jumps right back to potluck.
And at the beginning, too. Like, let's listen to the whole thing all together. But here's what I'll tell you. I love Dr. Dre, so I fucking appreciate pop. I appreciate anything that's got that West Coast Dr. Dre sound. Off the top, anybody who's listened to the OTA podcast knows I don't smoke pot. It's even if it was legal, I wouldn't even do it then because I'm just not that interested. But I'm all about liberty and freedom, so if you want to do it, fucking go ahead and do it. But if I had to have a soundtrack to smoke a blunt to, fucking Potluck's Dr. Dre in the sound of Dr. Dre mix would be the one. That's fucking banging.
And they got millions, well, not millions, but
year after year. So, for those who don't know, catch everybody up on who Potluck is and what it is that they do. What he does.
Potluck is a band I met in probably 06, 07. Going to concerts, they were touring with Twisted. They came outside before it was even open. This is one I showed up to at like 12 in the afternoon. I was literally the first person there because I wanted to be the first person in the door. Potluck comes out about 1:30, 2 o'clock. They're handing out blunt wraps. They were sponsored by Royal, so they were throwing fucking blunt wraps to everybody. We get inside and, they go on stage and I was impressed with them. They come off stage, they go over to their booth so they can, talk to people and everything else, which I fucking love about the underground. That's one reason I love the underground. If they come off stage, they come out, they talk to everybody, they don't act like they're better than nobody. They chill with their fans, they talk to them.
And I'll say, if you want to go back in time, in the timeline a little bit, for the YouTube, youtube.com/C/Dirty Short UG-OTA, you'll find some videos from bands from before, but you'll also find videos that Kenny shot back in the day, backstage at some of these places. Some of these groups that you're like, holy shit, these are awesome, like, really big, powerful bands. And they're bullshitting around in a green room with you, like shooting video, which is insane.
Like Hobson?
Yeah, like Hobson.
that was a fun one, but obviously he don't smoke, so he can't celebrate 420.
Right. But so, what is it? What are these 420 videos that they put out?
This one in particular, it was all Dre beats, and like I said, when you got here and when I texted you earlier, just listening to it, me and Brandon expected it to mostly be shit from The Chronic or The Chronic 2001.
Right.
So, and I was expecting Keep Their Heads Ringing from the Friday soundtrack. And then it started going, and I was like, man, Dr. Dre really does a lot of beats for other artists. Because you hear Break Your Neck, which was a Busta Rhymes track.
Yeah.
And several others, and Eminem, of course.
Tupac, Eminem, 50 Cent, Exhibit. Nate Dogg, God, what was that? The gangster from the West Coast. The Game. Everybody that you think of as coming out of that Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent kind of house, basically, their first single was a Dre beat. And probably smart on his part, because he can say, listen, I know what people like to hear. Just rap over this. It'll be a hit. And then people will like you, and then we'll move on from there. But go back in time. Snoop Dogg. Tupac.
And there was a couple of Snoop Dogg beats.
Yeah, there was. And, I mean, it's just crazy that if you go from 1989, there were tracks on there from 89 and 2016.
They hit all the major ones from different artists from back when Dre started all the way to now.
Yeah. But it's crazy. 89 to 2016, and he's basically been in music. By the way, I also think he might be a vampire, because watching the pictures during that video, he doesn't fucking age. He looks the same in his NWA promo shots that he does in his Beats by Dre promo shots.
And that's okay, because he's an amazing producer, so...
Yeah, hopefully he lives forever. But so Pollock, do they do this thing every year?
Typically. Last year they did the 4-minute fire drill. So, I mean, technically this was the 4th mix. So, when you look it up, I think it says the 4th mix on it. But in the song itself, you hear him say it's the 5th mix.
Because they did something different last year.
Yeah, they did something different. Because,
what have they done before?
The one they did last year, which I've showed it to you, was the 4-minute fire drill. Underrated being a white rapper. White rappers always have something to prove, that they can rap fast. So they did that last year instead, and it was 4 minutes and probably 20 seconds of him rapping fast. 2 different beats, one of them being Eminem's Rap God. And hitting the blunt right in the middle when you could tell he was clearly taking a breath, and then he just supersonic with it.
Right.
So, I mean, it's dope that they can do that, and I've met them several times, and they're chill as shit. One day, one of the times I met them, I bought one album, a friend bought another album, and they was like, well, you guys can save your computer and switch albums and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I appreciate it. Next time I see you at the show here in Maryland, I will buy the other albums. And they remembered me 8-9 months later when they came back. And they gave, we handshook, and I was like, I told you I was going to buy the other albums next time y'all came back, and I did.
Huh?
And a t-shirt. So.
And so, definitely look for that. That'll be in the show notes as well. You missed 420, but luckily for you pot smokers out there, 420 comes by twice a day. So.
But also their music's not all about 420.
Right.
So they got some real deep songs that people will feel. Just like I say every time we talk about an underground artist. If you're feeling some kind of way about a relationship or something.
Yeah.
Or you're just feeling like today's not your day in the world and you don't know why you're here. Potluck also brings those types of sounds.
Well, and so moving up from somebody who's kind of deep in the underground to someone who looks like they're about to break out of the underground, you also sent me Ritz's new single, Window?
My Window.
My Window. Which, I'll be honest, I think I'd heard Rittz before on being featured, but he's featured so far down that in YouTube it's off of the description. But this is his debut album. I mean, you know more about this.
Third album.
All right, so tell us a little bit about Rittz.
This album coming out, it's top of the line. Third album from Rittz under the Strange Music banner. If you know Strange Music, Tech 9. Yellow Wolf, and as you'll hear in a song from his first album, he says that Yellow Wolf said if he ever had a chance to put him on, he would. Yellow Wolf is good friends with Tech 9. Turn around and turn Tech 9 onto him. A week later, Rittz was signed.
Right.
Never looked back since then. His music is just rolling out.
And when you see this dude, you would think biker before you would think rapper.
Yes.
He is a big, burly white dude with a big beard. He's wearing like not a Congo hat, but he's wearing like a skull cap in the beginning of the video. And I didn't know what you had sent me, because it popped. The link you sent me was World Star.
Yeah.
And World Star can be a lot. I mean, it's usually urban music, but it can be a lot of different things. So like it starts playing, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Because you see the guy, and I'm like not expecting him to just run off.
They call him White Jesus for a reason. A lot of people say it's the White Tech 9 because he just flows fast through every song, but it's not so fast that you can't hear it, but you can vibe it at the same time. And then he'll have songs where he slows it down because people will be like, well, he can rap fast, but can he rap at a normal pace and still sound good? So he'll have those few tracks in there.
Tell me this. Why is it that white rappers feel the need to be the fastest rapper?
I don't know.
It seems like, no, but they do slow it down, but their slow songs are usually like a break in between a record of fast songs. Why is that? Why do you think?
I think to them it's trying to prove that they can fit in with the blacks and whatnot. To because that originated the chopper stuff. It all originated with black rappers. I think they're trying to prove that they can rap fast too.
Because here's what I'll tell you. My style is not fast.
No.
As you may know, as fans of the show may know, I am working on a rap album. Now, you look at me and you don't think rapper, but you look at Rittz and you don't think rapper either. It's just shit's weird. But I'm working on, I will tell you, and I'll give you a little preview, not a preview like singing it, but the drill time stuff coming out of Chicago I'm really vibing on. I vibe the drill time sound.
So we're going back to What's His Face now?
A little bit. Slim Jesus?
Yep, that was it.
Yeah, a little bit of Slim Jesus. But it's also because the repetition of it, one, it's easy for a person like me who has no musical talent whatsoever. I can sit down with a pseudo drum box on my computer and tap out some marching music. And then, like, you get 20 seconds of it. All right, hit repeat, and it just loops and loops. And then, like, when you get to the end of your verse, you throw in a little bit of variety for the chorus, a little bit for the hook, back into the loop, and it's easy to set up. So it makes it a lot easier. But it also helps. I mean, I have no desire to go fast. Because when I hear stuff like Rittz, you know that that is practiced. And I don't have the time to fucking practice it, get all the stuff down like super tight, super tight, super
because
tight.
you with the tape, fucking, you think a normal verse is 16 bars.
Right.
When you're fast rapping, it's at least double.
Right.
So.
And I don't write that much shit to try to be filling 2 bars worth of.
That and trying to do it in a single take without fucking up one word the entire time.
So I dig the drill time sound where it's like it's got a cadence to it. It's a little slower. It's not slow, but it's like a instead of Rittz, which is just like rolling right through. Also, I have no training in singing whatsoever, and I know circular breathing is a thing that you can learn how to do, and I used to do it on playing trumpet. When you play like brass instruments, they teach you how to circle breathe. The problem is I can't do it. I could still do it if I have a trumpet, but I can't do it talking. There's something about the continuous like blowing instead of trying to
that
talk.
also works with cloud comps.
Is that what you're supposed to do with clouds?
I don't know if they do the full circle breathing, but if you watch a lot of like trick videos and shit, you'll see it coming out their nose and they'll suck it right back into your mouth in a continuous loop.
Right.
Until it just dissipates altogether.
Well, so I can't do it with anything but a trumpet, so it doesn't help me at all. But also, I remember stories from like Usher. I guess 4 is it his album's numbered. Well, but he talks about how like when he first started training with Jermaine Dupri, he made him run around the pool singing his songs. Because you got to be in so much good shape that you can like run, and I can't fucking do that. That is not gonna happen.
You got to be able to expand it again, like vaping. Expand your lungs if you want a bigger cloud.
Right.
Monoxide from Twisted. At one point was smoking 6 packs of cigarettes a day, and he went for a doctor's checkup a couple times, and they could not figure out why his lungs were in such good shape. But he's always on tour and rapping, so his lungs are always working.
And I will say that's the other thing too. If I smoke like 3 cigarettes, it makes my voice a little scratchy. That's the shit. That is what's gonna happen. So.
But now they vape, but they're on the little pins.
Well, I was gonna say for the I wouldn't do it for the nicotine. I would do it for the throat damage because it like scratches the vocal cord just enough that it gives me like a rough sound, and I really dig it. So
try some
we'll see.
24 milligram one day.
You think that'll do it too?
Oh yeah.
Same deal.
Oh yeah. It feels like you're trying to swallow a razor blade.
Woo, super. All right. Well, so I may be the next big Baltimore rapper, but I probably shouldn't speak too soon.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't because. I know you've seen the article.
I did.
Well, yeah, I know you've seen it, but I'm sure you tried to find out if it was true or false.
I did, and so it's only being reported everywhere, but everyone is citing the same interview. Now, so for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we are here in the local Maryland and there was a interview done with Eminem where he said, fuck LA, I'm moving to Baltimore. I've been there a couple times on tour. It's a nice town. It's got good people. I'm moving there. Here's the problem. The person who did the interview is from Baltimore, and their blog is about Baltimore and Baltimore stuff. So it's a little convenient that they were talking to Eminem and he said he was going to move to Baltimore. But Eminem has not said that it was incorrect. He's not like posted anything on Twitter or anywhere where he said, I don't know where the fuck you guys are getting this from, I'm not moving. And it's hit some of the big time websites where they are re-reporting. So, I don't know, maybe it's true.
That would be awesome in a way. But at the same time, when I read it, I was like, why wouldn't he go back to Detroit and help out the local community to where he not necessarily originally grew up because he moved there for people that don't know.
But I think that he has burned a lot of bridges in Detroit. So like, as people who know anything about Eminem know, he's relapsed a couple of times and he's gotten some criminal charges, and his wife, ex-wife, whatever she is now, lives in Detroit. His daughter, is she 18 yet? Are we allowed to talk about her yet? I'm pretty sure she's 18.
She's got to be.
She's got to be 18. So in 2002, she was 4. Because she was 4 on that album. So it's now been 14 years since 2002. So yeah, so she's 18.
Leave it to Rob to go to the math on that.
Start doing the math on it. But I mean, so his daughter isn't there anymore. Because I'm trying to remember. I thought I remember seeing a story about her going to college and how. Here's the thing. Lisa Marie Presley is like. Do you remember like how she started dating like Nick Cage and got married to Nick Cage and Michael Jackson and John Travolta? She dated for a while, and she became like a prize for people who liked Elvis. Well, I have an inkling that Eminem's daughter is gonna end up being a prize for guys of our generation to date and or marry.
They said they fucked Eminem's daughter.
I fucked Eminem's daughter. I mean, the Kurt Cobain's daughter has kind of she actually got married and then now she's getting divorced after like 4 months and basically come to find out that the guy was just a big Nirvana fan and he hid it the whole time they were dating. And she found out, and then, like, of course, she would feel fucking, like, betrayed by that, because at least say you like the band. Don't pretend you don't know Nirvana when my dad was in Nirvana, you know?
But I've seen interviews with her where she don't even like the band.
Nirvana?
Yeah.
Well, because she's got other reasons. I mean, she thinks the band killed her dad, so there's a whole bunch of stuff with that.
I still think it was Courtney.
Probably was Courtney. But anyway, so Haley's not going to be in Detroit anymore. His wife's there. That's a reason not to go to Detroit. He's relapsed a couple times there. And for anybody who knows anything about drug use, you never go back to the place where you used before. Like, if you go somewhere and go to rehab, and then you go home, you're much more likely to use drugs. Because the same dude who was selling you drugs before is going to be like, oh, hey, man, welcome back. So here's a freebie, and then call me and you want some more. And you're much more likely to relapse. So it could be that he wants a new start, but he doesn't want to... LA is awesome, and I want to go to LA, but for him, LA sucks. He hates people. He hates the whole limelight. He wants to get back to his roots. Baltimore and Detroit are very similar. It's a city that's kind of falling apart, falling on hard times.
There's going to be people climbing those fucking walls if he moves to Baltimore, to be honest with you.
I mean, here's a question. Where does he move? Because at least Detroit had areas kind of in the outskirts of town. Baltimore is very much a neighborhood town. Like, you drive down a street, and it's $10,000 house, $1 million house, $10,000 house. So all the people who love your music are literally just a few blocks away from wherever you move. So he'll have to get security and stuff. Not that he can't afford it. So we'll see. But big news. I mean, hopefully he comes. It'd be great. Wouldn't it be weird just like randomly see Eminem? Like, hey Marshall, what's up?
Like when you show up to a Ravens game or
I don't think he's
Orioles game.
I don't think he's a sports fan at all. It would be more like,
But how funny would it be if you and Corey go to one of these games and end up on the fucking Jumbotron? And remember
the Orioles
Eminem's here!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
In the skybox.
I mean, like I said, it would be great. I just don't put too much, credence in it until it's confirmed. WMAC is the name of the blog that interviewed him. And it's been, like I said, it's been re-reported everywhere. He hasn't said it wasn't true, but we haven't heard anything else about that either. So, I guess we will,
Uh-oh.
I guess we will have to see. Yeah, you see that?
Denied.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. I don't know if Miss Niñas are watching. Sorry about that. I was helping somebody with their homework and they called me, but I can't because I'm podcasting right now. Sorry, guys. All right, so so we talked about Rittz.
Eminem, Potluck.
I was gonna say, I thought that you was there something else about Twisted that came up that you wanted to talk about? Because I know that in the context of Rittz.
Not necessarily. There was the thing that they have the show going on Saturday.
That's what it was, yeah.
Because I know I texted you about that, and I've been trying to, even for you for podcast research, because it's fun, and I've already been there multiple times.
Right.
And just like when we went to the wrestling show, you ended up having fun.
Right.
I feel like it'd be fun, and I was sitting there talking about it, and I like legitimately the other night told Karina, I was like, things could happen Saturday night. I was like, if I have it my way, Rob picks me up at the expo at some time in the afternoon, and we roll up to Pennsylvania, and we go see the show.
Rob is not going to goddamn Pennsylvania to a show. If they come to Baltimore, maybe we could talk. But fucking Pennsylvania now.
Well, if they come to Baltimore, then we got to drag Corey too.
Corey will not go. Corey goes to shows like Michelle Branch. He doesn't go to Twisted shows.
Not even for a podcast?
No, not for anything. Can't get him to go to shit for any other reason other than that.
I know, and he still hasn't seen Star Wars, has he?
Doubtful that he's seen. And who are you talking about? You only saw it for the podcast.
I was debating watching it beforehand. I just didn't want to pay the $20.
Well, so here's the big question involving Corey. Have you seen Herotics Episode 1?
Yes, I have.
So, for those of you who don't know, obviously this podcast is a proud member of the OD Anthem Digital Network. We always say to support the network in total. The best way you can do that is, well, there's two ways you can do that. Number one, go to dirtyshoreunderground.com, click through the Amazon link. Take you to Amazon. You can do everything exactly the way you usually do. But Amazon gives us as a thank you for sending you there. They give us a little kickback, so that's great. Costs you nothing extra. It's a great way to help the podcast. The second one is to go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/ODAnthem. Become a monthly supporter. It helps us produce good material all the time. Good material like Herotics. So what were your thoughts about Herotics?
I thought it was fucking great.
Yeah.
The only thing I was sad about it was only like 3.5 minutes long. And that's a give or take. I think it was more like just over 3.
I think the film itself was just over 3, and then the video itself was almost 4. But cards at the beginning, cards at the end, so with editing and stuff, it takes a little more time.
I thought it was great. I was sitting here watching it. Karina was in the kitchen doing something, and she was like, "What the fuck are you watching?" I was like, "It's Corey and Rob's TV show on the YouTube channel called Herotics." And then she heard after he knocked on the door, and he was like, when he finally said Ghost Rider, and they were talking to me, she was just like, "What?" And she busted out laughing in the kitchen. I'm just like, this is fucking great shit.
So make sure you should go to youtube.com and search for OD Anthem. Herotics is available now. I am super happy with the result. Episode 1 is out. We filmed episode 2 last weekend. That'll be coming out next week.
Good.
It's going to be good. We are shooting episode 3 and 4 next weekend. So that'll be interesting, to say the least. I mean, things are just getting crazy. It's super exciting. Things are moving forward. And please, 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 if you like it, share it with somebody. Share it on your Facebook page, share it on YouTube, share it on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Let people know that you enjoyed it. So, kind of, can you give people your impression of how would you explain what Herotics is?
Well, as far as the first episode goes, has anybody listening not had a Jehovah's Witness show up at their door?
Right.
That's exactly what it felt like, and that's what you think you're getting, and then he's like, Ghost Rider? And my favorite part was at the end of it when he knocks on the door again and he's got the fucking Ghost Rider issue in his hand. Are you willing to buy this? I'm just like, I'm no good.
So it's a universe exactly like this one, except for instead of gods and religion like we usually have, they're superheroes. So we had some very talented actors participate in it. Dylan, fantastic as the Ghost Rider witness, really, comes up to the door. Chris is a guy who just got off work. Did you see my car make a cameo?
Yeah, I see it. Fucking Rob, as soon as it was pulling, I was like, that's Rob's car.
It is my car. Car pulls up, guy comes in, guy getting off from work, and then that guy is a Baddick. He is in this world we would call him a Catholic, but he's a follower of Batman, and he has a Ghost Rider witness coming up to his door to try and get him to convert. Oh, you alright there?
Yep.
Get him to convert to following Ghost Rider. So check that out on YouTube, OD Anthem page, or go to odanthem.com. It's available there as well. While you're there, check out the latest episode of the podcast. Very excited about that as well. We got interviews with David Warnock and Carl Stokes, 2 candidates for mayor. We do an in-depth kind of talk about the mayor's race. There's so much good stuff coming with OD Anthem. It's fantastic. We got 2 new podcasts coming out too.
I can't
Speaking of
wait.
which, we might have to have some people from those podcasts come on and say a little something on here. People who you have met before, Dirty Shore Underground crew. So it'll be very exciting. Will be a lot of stuff moving forward, and the best way for you to support us in that is go into patreon.com, patreon.com/Hear the Anthem. Become a monthly subscriber. It can cost you as little as $1 a month. Not $1 a day, not $1 for a week, $1 a month. Or up to as much as you'd like to spend to help support us. It is really the best way that we can get these things moving forward. I mean, obviously, it's Corey and I's dream that we could just quit our jobs and do Herotics every fucking day.
I wish I could quit my job
Well,
and do this every day.
and trust me, we have all of these ideas of all this great stuff we would love to do, and it's just a matter of making it happen. So
I still think we need to do the Clerk-style movie in a vape shop setting.
dude, I'm down with that too, but you gotta write the damn thing.
I can't write it. I can give you ideas. Harry can give you ideas. You and Corey are better at writing than us, so it'd be better if we gave you the ideas and you wrote it and then we shot it in the shop after
If
ours.
you write down the ideas, I will shoot a promo and I'll sell Corey on doing it.
Alright, that works. But before we get off Herotics, because obviously I'm not a Ghost Rider or a Batman,
Yes.
if these superheroes were our saviors, which one would you actually be?
See, it's hard, because I'm not really religious in real life.
neither.
So it's hard for me to pick. I gotta say that part of me says Superman, because he is actually supernatural. He's an alien. If anyone has seen Batman v Superman, they've seen that even from across the world, if Clark or if Superman was listening and heard you in trouble, he could be there. Batman, I'm like, if you're in trouble in Center City and you're not in Gotham, Batman ain't got shit to do to help you. I don't know. So maybe Superman. We got some very interesting episodes coming where we bring in some more superheroes. So just stay tuned, and it'll be interesting to see. Everyone should actually participate in the poll right now. Click on the poll on the YouTube video, youtube.com/c/DirtyShoreUG-OTA, and let us know what hero you would pick as your savior. And I will stick that poll in on the posting of the video.
And which one do you think I would be?
Deadpool?
Because obviously I'm the one about the good time.
Right.
If I was all about being serious, then I'd be Batman.
Well, so we have episode 1 last week, we have episode 2 coming out next week, and then weeks in between Captain America Civil War, and then episode 3 will come out the week after that. And while we have all of these superhero movies coming out during the year, we'll be posting episodes of Herotics. Season 1, hopefully end of Season 1 will lead directly into Season 2 if we can get some good financing and figure that out. It would be great.
And we got the Deadpool Blu-ray coming out. It's going to have the
Deadpool's
entire gag reel on it and all the deleted scenes.
More importantly, though, we got our first look. I was going to say at a hero that I'm not. We're not going to probably have episodes all the way out to November when this movie comes out, but Doctor Strange coming out in November. First look trailer came out this week, and you got a chance to look at it.
I'm about it.
Yeah. So, what were your thoughts overall?
There needs to be more to draw me in.
Okay.
That's the thing with it. I've seen it before and didn't even remember seeing it until I looked at it today again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, I've already seen this.
Right.
That's how I feel about it at the moment.
Did you ever read the Doctor Strange comics?
No.
So, I drew a really big, bold line in my comic book life between the superheroes who had powers and the superheroes who used magic. And for me, it's a weird... Listen, I understand how dumb and weird that line is to draw, because it's a universe where you gave a guy an injection and he becomes Captain America, or a guy who is smarter than any man ever in the history of the world builds a suit in a cave and becomes Iron Man. You know, like, these things don't make sense. But I'm willing to suspend disbelief for that. I'm not willing to suspend disbelief for magic. I just can't do it. And Doctor Strange is all about magic. So I was never a big fan of the comics. I didn't actually watch the comic books or the comics at all. I didn't read the comics at all. And I like Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he looks like an alien. Let's put that out there. I think he looks like an alien. You said you thought it was
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves from The Matrix.
Yeah.
So what part of it made you think of Keanu Reeves?
I don't know if it's with the way the trailer was shot, but the way his hair was and shit, he looked like fucking kind of like Keanu Reeves.
Well, he had the facial hair too.
He kind of looked like Keanu Reeves from Point Break at something.
Like a young Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And then they did like the fight scene in the dojo where he like jumps out of his body or whatever. So here's the thing, that trailer does not do the movie justice, because that seemed very superhero-y and like in your mind. Like there was parts of it that looked like. Did you ever see Inception?
No.
You've never seen Inception?
Not even once.
Christopher Nolan's Inception.
Nope. Leo
goes into the dream of a guy. You've never. My God, how have you never seen that? Okay, so there's a bit of that looks like Inception. There's a little bit that looks like The Matrix. There's Tilda Swinton looking like a non-gender specific, non-race specific person. She is the bald girl in a robe at the end, or that actually punches him out of his body. So the character in the comic is called the Monk. It's supposed to be Asian, supposed to be a man, and I guess they went with Tilda Swinton because she looks so nondescript. She looks I mean, she's not white. She's not Caucasian like Kenny and I. She's literally white, like paste. Like
I thought I was black.
Shit. But no, she is wearing a white robe, and her skin is almost the same color as the robe. She shaves her head. You can't tell if she's a man or a woman. So I think that's why they went with her. Because it's like gender non-specific, race non-specific. She is a human being, and that's really all you can tell. But people are upset because the comics, it is an old Asian man. Like Splinter if he wasn't a rat. You know, like just a wise, small Asian man. And so Doctor Strange always doesn't treat him with disrespect, but is always doubting. Because, you know, short little Asian man, what's he going to do? And then, you know, like, and he does like the 6-inch punch and punches him out of his body and then like draws him back in. So, it'll be interesting, but I think that they are trying to get people who would never see Doctor Strange to get interested. They see that trailer.
They got to do a lot more to get me in the theater. Prior to Deadpool, it was like 3 years since I've been in a movie theater.
Right.
And their promo on the entire movie was fucking awesome. And obviously, I was just like, I'm going no matter what, first day. And I sent you the picture because I was at the early show.
Don't fucking spoil it for me!
Rob did say he would kill me if I spoiled it for him, and I didn't.
Yes.
So, all I sent was the starting credits or whatever it was at that point in time.
Yeah, I think it was just the HTX screen or whatever.
Yeah, it was like just starting to come on because that was like the only way you can't spoil it unless I deliberately took a picture of what was something that was shown in the trailer.
Right.
So.
But so here's a question: any movies out right now that'll get you into a theater?
Not right now, but I'm kind of interested in seeing the new Purge movie.
Okay, July 4th coming up.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see the trailer for it?
Mm-hmm.
It's well, here's the thing. I'll spend the money on the Purge every fucking time. Because those guys knocked it out of the park with the first one. Stumbled into the finish line a little bit. But like the first 95 minutes were great. The last 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Just end it already. End it already. We're done. The second one, nailed it. Just
added a little bit of story to it.
Nailed it, yeah.
And the people that were just like stalking them the entire movie were kind of creepy. The guy that had the white mask and some guy across it.
Oh gosh, yeah. So I mean, you mix and was it the first one is the one where the guy had the smiling mask on the outside and he knocks on the door and he like tilts his head. That's creepy. Then you add in the stalking aspect of like the face mask guy, and then we find out that there's this kind of like underbelly of the Purge, and now both of those storylines are going to come together in the Purge election year. So we'll see. July 4th, I'll be there on July 4th weekend. I'll be watching it, so we'll see how it is. I actually saw that preview before Hardcore Henry when I went and saw it.
Did you?
Yeah. So You have no interest in seeing Hardcore Henry in the theater?
I mean, it's not that I don't have an interest in it. I don't think that it's something I would go to the theater to see. I think it's something I would rather wait and enjoy at home. And this might be more because Sony has their VR system coming out later this year.
Yeah.
So I can put it on my headset, and even if it's not 3D, it'll feel more first person to me. So I would probably enjoy it a bit more.
It's not 3D in the theater. They didn't have a 3D version.
I know. Like you told me that they didn't have the budget for it, but
yeah,
with the VR headset on, it would feel more like you were there.
I think that Hardcore Henry is a movie you have to see in the theater. We sat in the very back, so I was a little worried about getting motion sickness, and I can see that if I was in the front row and looking up at the screen, I would have thrown up because there was a lot of movement. It's a lot of movement.
Karina can't deal with the old first-person shit, so she doesn't watch when I play Call of Duty or other games like that.
I think she would be fine with it. Because
she's seen the preview and almost threw up.
Really?
Off the preview.
Okay, so does she get car sick? Mm-hmm. See, because what I found was that the movements were very natural. Like when the character moved his head, he was moving where I wanted to look anyway. For instance, there was a scene in a brothel, and you see this girl out of the corner of your eye, the corner of the screen, and I'm like, shit. And as soon as I'm like, what was that? The camera pans to the right, and he's looking in that direction. And while there's fight scenes going on, literally, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing, but it's very similar to every action movie. There's 3 guys, and they all jump him, and so he starts fighting them. But where you'd be seeing it from the outside of him blocking the guy that he can't see, and now you're there. You see this fist come over the shoulder, and he just blocks it, and it's fucking insane.
So did they use a GoPro to film
They
it?
filmed it, basically, it's not a GoPro, but it's a similar kind of thing. So, it's a head wearable camera that creates
probably like a mini red camera.
Actually, it is a red camera. That's the brand name of the camera. So, but they mount it on top of the head, but it creates the focus point, so it looks like it's coming from the eyes. So,
which
the
if
camera's
it's sitting
here.
right here, it's basically the same shit.
Camera's here. It's not a mini red though. It's the full size red, so it's on top of the head.
God damn, that's like fucking 15 pounds
Yeah.
on your
Can you
head.
imagine doing the fight with that stuff on your head? So, the camera's right here, but it's made to give depth of field as if it was your eyes. They do a fucking great job of it. But so here's what I'm gonna say. After seeing that, listen, new Bourne movies coming up, it's not going to be enough for you to do a fight scene where you are just cutting between these shots of the fight. What
you're saying is it's going to change the game.
It is a game changer as far as fights are concerned. Because there is no reason. Listen, I'm not saying you need to have the whole movie in first person. That was awesome, and it didn't make me sick. It didn't, I didn't have any bad impacts on me. It was frustrating in points because you're used to seeing more of what's going on, and then shit would just come out of nowhere, and you're like, what the fuck was that? But you can't see it. So that part was frustrating, but it was great. And then the fight scenes are a game changer. And I think that in the future, these kind of movies are going to be Bourne style, and then when he starts doing his Rochambeau or
it jumps into a fucking first.
Oh wait, what's it called when they jump rooftop to rooftop? It's not Rochambeau.
Parkour.
Parkour. When they start doing parkour,
Assassin's Creed style, which we learned you were once addicted to.
I fucking love Assassin's Creed. Yire Esteban, hola, amigo. Gracias por mira nosotros. I think that the future is going to be, you're going to see Jason Bourne running across a rooftop. And then he's going to go jumping across the gap. It's going to shift to first person. You're going to see the parkour bits in first person. And then he's going to drop down on the ground, and we're going to be back to the third person camera. And he is going to get sucker punched from the outside. And as soon as we see his head snap back, first person camera, and now he's having the fight scene first person. It is a game changer on that front.
But we also gotta put out there that it's not the first time first person been done.
No, was
They
it
did
Shooter?
They did it in Doom
Doom, yeah.
with The Rock,
Right.
Dwayne Johnson,
And then there was another video game movie that...
Gamer.
Not Shooter, Gamer.
Which I've only seen once, but I remember the first person stuff because it was so unique back then.
Now, and the thing about Gamer is that was really what I think we're going to end up with. Because Gamer was cutting in between the first person and then him being like, and like trying to shrug off the control. So I think we're going to head that direction. It was really unique for Gamer, and I think that Gamer didn't get popular because people who aren't into games wouldn't watch it. It says Gamer, it's about a video game. The twist, spoiler alert for everybody, is that the game is not real. The people playing it think that it's not real, but there were actually people dying. So
I watched it because it was free on Stars.
There you go. But I think that kind of thing is now... After this, you needed a movie that was entirely in the first person so that you could see everything pan out. One thing, my one judgment, the storyline does not make sense. It has no story. I could not follow the story at all. But
there's a lot of movies like that, but they do great. Friday the 13th, for instance.
Sure. And Friday the 13th is a slasher movie. You go to it to see the slashing.
The killing, the titties, the sex.
Right. Hardcore Henry, you go to see this movie done completely in the first person. And Jimmy is the most fantastic character ever created in the history of film. You've heard me say it. I say it 100%.
Would you have liked it as much if, like, Jason Statham was the character behind the slash GoPro?
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like
we see the guy behind the GoPro one time for a few seconds.
Like, I've been way over him, and like I was pissed off that he was even in Fast and Furious, to be honest.
And he's in that new G7 commercial or whatever. You know what I mean? Have you seen the one where he's every single character?
No.
Okay, so there's a commercial where...
I don't watch TV unless Walking Dead's on.
He's in a commercial for a phone where he's every single person in the commercial. So check that out. It is what it is. It's interesting. But I mean, I'm over Jason Statham, but here's the thing. When you're in the Expendables, you're basically saying, I'm old and washed up. It's not me. I'm not an action star anymore.
Although, except for maybe...
well, they had...
What is his name?
Expendables 2, they brought in 3 young people. So...
Well, I'm not even talking about that. Jet Li.
Jet Li, yeah.
Who mostly does Chinese movies.
But he's washed up in America.
Has. Well, I wouldn't say he's washed up. I've seen some of his Chinese movies. They're good. I wouldn't even say Jackie Chan's washed up. But the last movie we've really seen with Jackie Chan was also had Jet Li in it, which was The Forbidden Kingdom.
Say washed up, what I mean is not popular in America anymore.
See, I like my Chinese movies.
Well, it's not China. Go to China if you like Chinese movies.
Why? I got plenty of internet here to watch those without going there.
But, so I would say I recommend going to see it. If you get the VR headset, it probably will give you the same impact that the movie theater would give you. The difference being that VR still does not have surround sound. And the one benefit...
The Sony one's got surround sound in here. I'm assuming it's a bunch of little fucking...
Little things that pump out. Okay.
Just enough that if they do it right when they're editing it together, it gives you the
feeling.
Where's it coming from type sound.
Because we were sitting in the theater, I had that a couple of times. Like, hearing footsteps and being like, where the fuck?
Where it's like real life, right?
Yeah, exactly like real life. That's why I highly recommend it. Loved it. Make sure you check out Hardcore Henry. If you wait till the VR headset, do that. But go see it in theaters. It's really good. Hey, if you're looking for a plot, you're going to the wrong movie because it's got almost no plot. The plot doesn't really make sense, but
it doesn't need to.
It's an action movie.
It's a groundbreaking movie. First off,
groundbreaking visual style, crazy effects. And all realistic effects. Like, I listened to a podcast with the director where he said, when you see him ride through the middle of a van, the actor actually does that. When you see him drop a grenade, this is all in the trailer, by the way. When you see him drop a grenade into the van, and it blows up, and he lands on the back of a bike, they shot that with a crane. So he drops a fake grenade down into the thing. Then they time it so the crane picks him up as the fake explosion goes off in the van. They then drop him on the back of a moving motorcycle with a crane. That is fucking insane.
And because it's first person, our star doesn't have to be somebody that's well known.
Right. And actually Jimmy is the most well-known person there. Did you ever see District 9?
Refresh my memory.
It's a South African movie about aliens, where they keep the aliens in like concentration camps. Okay, so the guy from District 9, he's in a bunch of stuff, but I know him best from District 9, plays Jimmy. And he is fucking fantastic. So, enjoy it. So go see Hardcore Henry. Totally worth it. I mean, like, again, I'm not going to put it up there with classic cinema, but it's groundbreaking visually, and it's a good time. If you just want to see some shit blow up, and you want to see gratuitous nudity, gratuitous drug use, gratuitous violence, basically if you want it to go in and just have a shit fun good time, that's what you do. That's the movie to go see. So, definitely go see it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Check it out eventually.
And if you want really high-class movie making, that's what you go to the Anthem for. And you can check out new episodes of Herotics, what did you think about the shooting on Herotics? Oh, hell yes! You know how I do.
Deadpool style.
But, like I say, that 3-minute movie took us 6 hours to shoot.
Yeah, like I remember when you guys started posting pictures for it. So, when you guys actually it was you were telling me it took you 6 hours to do that 3.5 minutes. So.
Yeah. It is insane.
It's crazy, and I think a lot of people don't realize how much time goes into making something that's only 3 or 4 minutes long.
Right. And it takes more time when you have a small crew, because obviously if you have a big crew, you can move everything and reshoot it. And it's a learning process, but I think the finished product was great. Corey did a great job in editing. Laura did a great job with color correction and DP work, so thank you to everybody who's involved. Actors Dylan and Chris did a great job. So, and look for more new episode of Herotics coming out next Friday. So
it's like a new era Kevin Smith.
Look, hopefully that's what we're going for, right? And maybe we'll make the Vape Shop movie, and then we'll have our.
I will say something to Harry Saturday.
Make me a list of stuff that has happened, and we can get working on something.
Yeah, because that would be fun. Because I know Nate wouldn't give a shit that if we went in and shot after hours and we're recording stuff.
And I'll get get distracted so I don't finish the calls. Give me something else to work on except the calls.
Finish the calls. Never mind. The vape shop clerks ain't happening.
Yeah, not as
the calls has to happen first.
I gotta finish the calls first. All right, so that's the next thing on my list of things to do. So it's looking like the sequel's coming out in the next 2 to 3 months, and the calls will be out just after that. So probably midsummer.
Which, speaking of the calls, you want to walk into the camera for a minute? Go ahead, pull your hoodie up.
Yep, come on in, have a seat in the middle.
I know, we're fucking you up. This is our boy JC, who a month or so ago, probably about 2 months,
it's been a while now,
got a call from a 000 number.
Yeah, so what was the story? What ended up happening with that?
Found out it was just a hospital, but I was just freaked out from listening to your story, hearing recalls from his story about your story.
Yeah.
And so seeing that number pop up on my phone, first thought in my head was, the fuck?
No, wait, why did it come up all zeros? What happened? How did that happen?
No clue. I just...
Did you recall the all zeros number?
Yeah, it just got beeping signal.
Huh.
And then they called again and got a voicemail.
Okay.
And it was saying, this is the hospital, just wondering if you're going to turn in your insurance information. And I'm like...
Well, so here's the question. Have you ever seen 12 Monkeys?
No.
The movie with Brad Pitt and the guy from Die Hard, Bruce Willis.
A long time ago.
Okay, so there's a part in 12 Monkeys where he leaves a message for a dry cleaning business where he leaves a message that says, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you're doing, I don't know if this is just a place that cleans carpets, but you're wrong about the Army of the 12 Monkeys, it wasn't them, it was so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And it hangs up. And it turns out that that's actually not the dry cleaner. It's a message that gets sent all the way back to the future so that they know how to adjust. So maybe, just maybe, you sent a message into the future. So 15 years from now, someone may walk up to you and play a record. Did you call them back and talk to somebody?
No, because they didn't leave me a number.
See, there you go. So somebody's going to play a recording of this podcast and say, why didn't you ever call back again? Why didn't you pick up the phone? We were trying to reach you with a special message of how to save the world.
That would be creepy, because literally as soon as it happened, he was texting me. He was like, "Are y'all fucking with me?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I just got a phone call and it was all zeros."
And I showed it to him.
And I will say, it's easier now because you can do, what are those things? Phone scammers or whatever, where you can change
Like
the phone
I
number.
did when we were doing the Black X?
Yes, yeah. So you can make it come up whatever you want. But back in 2005, it would have been a lot harder to do that. So, anyway, sufficiently freaked out. If somebody does ever call you in the future and says, hey, we need you to save the world, make sure you let us know.
I'm just going to call you if I need to go to a lawyer.
Be sure and do that.
That's also true.
Alright, so make sure you refer back to our episode, the Black X, 2 episodes of Black X.
Because we did it all in one night.
Yeah.
We spanned it out between 2 episodes because there was a lot to have going on.
And I will make sure I put that in the show notes for this week. Hope that everybody is enjoying their last 1 hour and 42 minutes of 420. And good luck with those random drug tests tomorrow, everybody. For those of you who have to worry about it.
Disagree?
What's that?
You know where I can disagree?
No.
You ain't got a dollar in your pocket?
No. No money. No money for drugs. No drug money on the thing that goes out over the internet.
No, I was going to give you $1 for the green. Say that's your green.
Oh. See?
But my wallet's in the back half of the house.
So anyway, make sure you check out DirtyShoreUnderground.com for new episodes of the podcast. Brand new full episodes every Thursday. Bonus episodes every Monday or Tuesday. Make sure you join us on Sunday night after Fear the Walking Dead for our live stream of the bonus episode. You can find that at youtube.com/c/DirtyShoreUG-OTA. Make sure you're following at DirtyShoreUG on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for updates, including those updates and updates from Kenny from American Vape Expo in Timonium, Maryland this weekend. And of course, you could be able to get those short videos on Facebook and everywhere, along with clips from the,
That's gonna be
the
fun.
movies. Yeah.
And if you guys weren't busy filming Herotics, I would say, hey, come out here and shoot some weird shit.
And driving Uber, and recording podcasts, and interviewing people, and all the other 9,000 things I got going on. So, you can find me on all your social networks at Robert N. Cheek. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com for more information about me and everything that I got going on, including links to my political blog, the news website, and everything else, including signing up for the mailing list. You can reach me by email at rob@robertncheek.com. And you can find links to my books, 2, soon to be 3, which are available on Amazon.
Needs to be 4.
Working on number 4 now. So, anyway, this is the Dirty Show Underground, proud part of the OD Anthem Digital Network. Do you have anything else this week?
Not until Sunday. I'm sure I'll think of something by Sunday.
Looking forward to Sunday. Join us for a Fear the Walking Dead review. And we got some special insight into the last scene of The Walking Dead from Season 6. So make sure you check that out live stream at youtube.com/c/DirtyShoreUG-OTA. And podcast will be available on Monday at all your podcast sources, iTunes, Dogcatcher, Stitcher, and at DirtyShoreUnderground.com. Until then, have a great week, everybody.
Good night, everyone.